Hello, AP Macroeconomics. This discussion will be on Unit 1, 1.1, Basic Economic Concepts, and the idea of scarcity. So, what is economics? Economics is a science of scarcity, and we can define scarcity as the idea that we have unlimited wants but limited resources. I want everything. I want donuts and Ferraris and yachts. However, I have limited resources. Since we're unable to have everything we have to make choices on how we're going to use these resources. So, in its most simplest form, economics is the study of choices. Okay, so in economics, we're going to study the choices of individuals, firms, and governments. A couple examples: you have to decide between buying jeans or shoes. Businesses are going to choose how many people they're going to hire, where government should spend their money. This is a textbook definition. Social science concerned with the efficient use of scarce resources to achieve a maximum satisfaction of economic wants. Again, it's a social science course, and so that's what the textbook definition of economics would be. There's two types of economics. There's microeconomics and macroeconomics. Macro and micro are separate, but they do overlap in some capacities. Microeconomics is a study of small economic units, such as individuals, firms, and markets. An example would be supply and demand, or the costs and labor markets, whereas macroeconomics studies the economy as a whole, total aggregate, like growth and spending and inflation and unemployment in international trade. Micro meaning smaller, macro meaning larger. So how do we use economists? Well, we use economics when it comes to generalizations and abstractions to develop theories. These are what's called theoretical economics. These theories then get applied, which are called policy economics. And there's two types of statements as it relates to economics. The first one is positive statements. Those are based on facts. There's no judgments. A normative statement, however, includes value judgments. So when it comes to economics, we try to stay in the positive statement and away from the value judged normative. Here's 5 key economic assumptions that you need to understand. Number 1, scarcity, right? Unlimited wants, unlimited resources. Because of scarcity, we have to make a choice. I got to choose between my yacht and my Lambo, right? Every choice has a cost. This is called a trade-off. Now, everyone's goal is to make choices that maximize their satisfaction. The idea that everyone acts in their own self-interest. Everyone makes decisions by comparing the costs and the benefit of every choice. And real-life situations can be explained by looking at simplified models and graphs. So if we apply this to, let's say, watching a movie. I know it's been a while since we've been out to see the movies, but the first time you watch a movie, maybe it's worth $30 to you. It only costs $10. And maybe if you go see that movie again, maybe it's still awesome, okay? But it's only $15 awesome. Now, it still costs you $10 to go see that movie, but it wasn't as worth as much before. Now, the third time you go and watch that movie, maybe the benefit is $5, but the cost is still $10. Would you see the movie 3 times? That's the question. So this is what marginal analysis is. In economics, the term marginal means additional. Okay, so like thinking on the margin, making decisions based on increments. You decide to go to the mall, you look at the benefits, and you look at the costs. When you get to the mall, you decide to shop. Are you going to buy food, or are you going to spend your time talking to friends? Your marginal benefits and costs quickly change. You're analyzing them every second. What happens if your ex-girlfriend shows up to the mall? You gonna bail, or are you gonna stick around? That's a choice that you'll make. Here's the point. You're going to do something as long as the marginal benefit is greater than the marginal cost. So take this time to pause the video and review with a partner or by yourself the following questions. Great. So analyzing choices. Let's make some assumptions so we can analyze what self-interest is. Let's say you want to visit your friend for the weekend. You're going to return on Sunday night, and you're going to work every weekday, earning $100 per day. Now you have three flights to choose from. Okay, you can leave on Thursday night and pay $275. You can leave on Friday early morning and pay $300, or Friday night at $325. Remember, you're staying till Sunday, and every weekday you earn $100. Which flight should you choose and why? So, understanding this idea, right, and which flight you should leave on will help you make your decision. Trade offs versus opportunity costs. All decisions that we make include trade offs. By definition, a trade off is all the alternatives that you give up when you make a choice, right? Like going to the movies, you're giving something up. This is what the trade off is. But the opportunity cost is the most desirable alternative given up when you make that choice, right? What are some trade offs on deciding to go to college? Well, what's the opportunity cost of going to college? Maybe you give something else up to go to college, but what's the most desirable alternative you give up when you make that choice? So let's see if we can break it down even to what you did yesterday. Did you hit that snooze button? Did you decide to eat breakfast at home? Or did you pay for some fast food? Maybe you skipped completely. What about lunch? Who did you sit with at lunch? What did you do after school? Should you stay up late and watch Netflix? Why do you have to choose to do some things and not others? Usually all of your choices involve some kind of cost. Even if it's not money, it's a cost. Here's a little image to make you choose two, right? The economics of college. You're going to choose a social life and get enough sleep, or you're going to choose good grades and get enough sleep, or a social life and good grades. These are the choices that you make. Here's a couple of practice problems. This one's from the 2008 audit exam. Karen works part-time at a local convenience store and earns $10 per hour. She wants to spend the next Saturday afternoon attending a music concert. The full price of a concert ticket is $75. But Karen was able to get a discounted price of $50 from a friend who purchased the ticket and is unable to go. If she takes 4 hours off from her job to attend the concert, what was her opportunity cost of attending the concert? And the answer is D, $90. The $50 that she paid and the 4 hours that she took off from her job, which she would have earned. A couple of terms that go along with this first lesson. The first is utility. Second is marginal, and the third one allocate. If something has utility, it has satisfaction. If something has margin, it's addition. And finally, you allocate or distribute your resources. Economics has its own language and its own terminology, so you may have used these terms in different capacities, but when it comes to economics, here's how they can be applied. The term price and cost are different also. You may normally associate that at the same thing, but a price is the amount that a buyer pays. Okay, but a cost is the amount that the seller pays to produce that good. For instance, you buy an iPhone, it costs the price is $1,000 for you to purchase. But maybe the cost to produce that good is only $800, and that's the difference. Investment is the money spent by businesses to improve their production. So this is not an investment like property or stocks or bonds. Investment is the money that a business spends to improve their production. If Jersey Mike's puts in faster bread making machines, they're looking to improve their production. Two types of goods: consumer goods and capital goods. Consumer goods are created for direct consumption, like pizza. You eat it once and it's done. But a capital good is created for indirect consumption, something that you can use over and over again, like an oven or blender or a knife. Now there's 4 factors of production, and these you're going to have to remember, so definitely make sure you're paying attention to these. The first factor of production Land are natural resources that are used to produce goods and services, like water, sun, or plants, animals. The second factor of production is labor. That's any work or effort a person devotes to a task for which they're paid. You could be a manual labor, a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, a waiter. The third is capital. Physical capital is any human-made resource that is used to create other goods and services, like tools and machinery. But human capital are the skills and knowledge gained a worker has through education and experience. So here's a little chart on evaluating countries. Okay, an international student assessment for 15-year-olds Score's scholastic performance. It looks like Finland is crushing. Okay, in literacy, mathematics, and science. The fourth factor of production is entrepreneurship. Those are the people who come up with ideas, right? They combine the factors of production to create goods and services. Here's a picture of Steve Jobs, Henry Ford, Bill Gates, the lady who invented Spanx. Entrepreneurs. What do? They take the initiative, they innovate, they take on risk. They're looking to get profit. Profit is your revenue minus your costs. So reflect a little bit. Are you productive today? What does a productive school day look like for you? What increases your productivity? What decreases your productivity? And what's the relationship between your productivity and your income? Productivity measures efficiency and shows the number of outputs per unit of input. An example: Bob can make 10 pizzas in 1 hour. Stan can make 5 pizzas in 1 hour. Bob is more productive. So, why do businesses and countries want to improve their productivity? Well, since resources are scarce, going back to the concept of scarcity, if you can improve your productivity, it allows us to produce more stuff with fewer resources. There's a question and the answer. An increase in which of the following would least likely increase labor productivity? And the answer is a labor force. Why? Physical capital and human capital and technology and education can all increase your labor productivity. But just getting a larger labor force may not necessarily make you more productive. Here's a couple of videos that may help you out and to understand these concepts. First one is an introduction to economics. Next one is from Mr. Clifford on scarcity. Another video on why you should learn economics. And then a fun one where Mr. Clifford makes a reference to Star Wars and scarcity. That's 1.1, Introduction to Economics and Scarcity.